Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? It is now official. The Saints have confirmed they'll play a home game in London in the 2022 season as part of the London series. So the NFL London games, it'll be one of either the Bengals, Raiders, or Ravens as the opponent for New Orleans. As the NFL has clarified, these matchups will always involve an NFC against an AFC team, which makes a little bit of sense if you don't want to have a team lose a potential home game against a division rival or something along those lines. So the Saints will play at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. The opponent will be shared at a later date. The other teams that we know that are going to play internationally, the Cardinals will play a home game in Mexico. The Bucks will play in Germany. The Packers, Jags, and Saints will all play in the UK. Okay, so a couple things. Number one, it really stinks that the Saints are going to lose a game in New Orleans this year. Anytime that you lose a game in your home stadium, it's not ideal. But for New Orleans, especially considering with Ida last year, what it did to the city, to the region, and then also losing a home game, a game in New Orleans last year due to Ida, to have this happen back-to-back years is just, it's not ideal. I mean, last year you played a home game in Jacksonville where there were more Packers fans than Saints fans. Now, you won that game, but competitively, yes, of course, you'd rather have the game in New Orleans, but also financially. When you have that number of games in your home stadium, you want them in the city for all the revenue and everything that is that comes along with playing a game in your hometown. If there's a positive to it, it's that the Saints are going to have, it's one of those years, because they've gone to a 17-game schedule, it's one of those years where the Saints are scheduled to have 9 home games. So because they have 9 home games, playing this home game in London means you're still going to have 8 regular season games in the Dome. So it would feel like a normal year before the schedule expanded. But still, in the year where where the schedule flips every year, we have 9 home games one year and then 9 road games the next. This was supposed to be a year where you had 9 games at the Dome. That's supposed to be your biannual competitive advantage. And the Saints just don't get it this year because they're going to have to go play this home game in London. Now, the Saints are undefeated. The couple of trips they've made overseas to play as part of the London series, they've won. So, with Sean Payton, they were able to figure out ways to go and win this. I would assume that Dennis Allen will be able to carry on the same schedule the way the Saints have in the past to find ways to go on the road and to win this game, hopefully. The opponent is what's going to be really interesting right now. So we know it's going to be either the Bengals, the Raiders, or the Ravens. There's one team on there that everyone here is hoping it's not, because everybody wants to see Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase in the Dome next year. And I'm with you. As an LSU guy, I'd love to see those guys come back to Louisiana and play on an NFL stage. The Saints fan in me doesn't want any part of that, because what could very well happen if the Bengals end up playing in the Dome is a large number of LSU fans will wear their orange and black and buy tickets and go to the game and cheer for the Bengals. I don't want to see that. I love Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. I wish them all the success in the world, but I want the Saints to beat the holy hell out of them on that given Sunday when they're going to play. So I might actually prefer that game be played in London for the competitive part of the schedule for New Orleans, to not have the possibility of something like, now listen, I don't think it would get to this extreme, but like when we saw the Rams and the Niners play in Week 18, San Francisco took over SoFi Stadium. The Niners fans took over that venue. The Rams did not have a home field advantage, to the point where in the playoffs, they were like, wives of players, Melissa Whitworth, they were like, Kelly Stafford were begging fans not to sell their tickets to Niners fans, even say they'd buy them. So, like, I'm not saying it would get to that extent, to that extreme. But I've been in that dome before where national team, Cowboys, Packers, where you have teams like that who are willing to spend on the secondary market to get into a venue to go see these teams play. So competitively, I'd kind of like to see the Saints and the Bengals end up in London. So it's more of a neutral site feel. Or maybe even a home field advantage. Because, I mean, honestly, so many fans in London, if you ever watch those London games, they really don't know who to cheer for. A lot of times there isn't a deep-seated allegiance, so they end up cheering for whoever the home team is. For what it's worth, when this was first announced, however, when it was leaked that the Saints were going to be playing a game in London, the first opponent that most everyone mentioned that it was going to be was the Raiders. And the Raiders that's the game that the Saints play. That's the extra game from the AFC this year that the Saints are playing. So it would kind of make sense if it were the Saints against Las Vegas out in London. So we don't know when. Obviously, the order of opponents, the schedule has not been set. What we do know is that the Saints are going to play a home game in London. It is confirmed, and it's going to be against the Raiders, the Bengals, or the Ravens. And I actually wouldn't be too sad if it did turn out to be the Cincinnati Bengals. Who dat to my core, bro? I want Joey B and Jamar to have all the success in the world. Not at the expense of the Saints. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.